Hello, and welcome to InFocus. My name is Rob Miller, and today I'm joined by Bryan Williams from Trimble's Buildings Division to talk about the TX series of 3D laser scanners. Bryan, thanks for joining me.
Rob, pleasure to be here again.
All right, so we want to talk a little bit about the different scanners here. We have a TX6 in front of us and a TX8 here behind me. Now, in the 3D laser scanners, this is the portfolio that Trimble has for these. Now, the 8 actually was released first. So if you don't mind, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the TX8 came about?
Yeah, Rob, so Trimble's been involved with 3D scanning since around 1996, so right at the inception of 3D laser scanning. So it's a culmination of building up of the experience we've had in manufacturing scanners and really looking at how the different applications need to be addressed. And so we've developed, with that experience, along with some new technology, to be able to bring that product to market.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the technology that's in the TX8.
Yeah, so not only do we have what we call this new high-speed time-of-flight technology, lightning technology we call it, along with high-speed mechanics, it allows us to address a wide range of applications for many different industries, in fact.
Okay, now you mentioned time of flight. Now, some people out there may have heard of phase-based scanning and time of flight. Can you just take a quick minute and talk about what are those and what are the differences?
Exactly. So phase-based scanning is quite popular because it gives you high speed, but it has a restriction in range, and you also tend to lose accuracy quite quickly over a pretty short range of area of capture. So time-of-flight technologies allows us to extend not only the range at which we can capture data, but also maintain good accuracy and good quality of data.
Okay, now you mentioned range, so what is the range on the TX8?
Yeah, TX8 gives us a range with the extended range version out to 340 meters.
That's a long way.
A long way.
All right, what's the standard range on a TX8? 120?
120 is the standard range.
Okay,
yep.
So 120, 300 extended.
Yep.
Okay, all right, so now we've talked about the TX8. The TX6 is actually the latest release in this series of scanners. So tell us a little bit about how the TX6 actually came about.
Yeah, so what we looked at, particularly with laser scanning, with the TX8, we can address anything from doing a building out to doing bridges or large job sites. When you look at the buildings area, you're generally in a restricted area, you're doing a lot of interior work, and also pretty robust environment. So what we wanted to do is develop a scanner that is really suitable for construction. So we looked at reducing the range and also reducing the setup time, and also having camera technology to be able to capture everything that you need with a very high resolution.
Okay, so we said 120 standard range on the TX8. Yep. On the TX6, the standard range is? 80 meters. 80 meters. And does it have an extended option?
Yeah, you have an extended option up to 120.
Okay, so the extended actually takes it to the standard range of the TX8.
Exactly.
And to that point, there's not a lot of buildings where you're setting up and needing 300 meters. And even 120 is a long way in most building applications.
In most building applications, exactly.
Okay, now same types of technology that are in the TX8. I mean, they look similar. I'm sure there's commonalities here.
So it's basically a family of products utilizing the same technology built in with some minor adjustments made to it.
Okay, now when you guys introduced the TX6, you added a couple of new capabilities as well, right? So one of those being Wi-Fi.
Yes,
What does Wi-Fi give me in a scanner?
So a perfect example is like you're in an interior. You want to be able to capture everything without any impedance. So you're able to control it from an external controller via Wi-Fi and be out of the scene essentially. So there's no need for anybody to be in the way.
You said external controller. Is that a specific device from Trimble, or what do I use
No,
for
it could be essentially any tablet, or you can even set it up where you could actually run it from a phone.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So just a simple Wi-Fi device that can talk to it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so we talked about the range. You mentioned the camera as well. So what does that camera give us in a scanner?
So with scanning, you get a lot of high fidelity information. So you get really defining of every shape that's on a construction site. By having the camera allows us to see information that you maybe not be able to see from the scanning technology. So things like color of pipes, maybe the color of the exterior of the building, paint, all those type of things that you need to be able to identify in the scene.
Okay, so we talked about some of the technologies there. You mentioned the measurement technology with time of flight, and we talked about phase. Yep. Let's talk specifically about speed of these two scanners, so the TX8 and the TX6.
Yep, so with the TX8, we're capturing up to 1 million points per second, which is incredible amount of data in a very short period of time. It's not always necessary to be running that fast, unless you have a massive project. So with the TX6, we have 500,000 points per second, okay. And you're still doing, anything from a 2 to 4 minute scan. So it's still quick to be able to set up and capture data without the necessary extra speed. And
you mentioned, so on the TX6, 2 to 4 minutes, TX8, that's 1 to 3 minutes. So there can be a 1 to 2 minute difference between the two. But scanning has come a long way in speed. We'll date you here. When you started, what was the speed on a scanner, Bryan?
Incredible, 70 points per second. You could
70 points
watch
per second.
every dot being captured.
All right, now speed, we talk about it, and obviously it's something we see on data sheets, spec sheets as a point of discussion. But speed is not always everything, right? Scanning is about the data and what you can get from that, the information that you can get. So, it's a consideration, but it's not the end-all, be-all for these applications.
Exactly. It's no point in capturing massive amount of data if you can't use that data. So it's important all the time that at Trimble we really focus on workflows, especially for contractors who need to be able to get information quickly and be decisive about it. So we focus on that by having a software like Trimble RealWorks, which we've developed over many years, allows you to manage and extract information from that point cloud information. So you can do everything from creating a 2D plan to full high fidelity 3D models.
Yep. And one of the ones we see a lot of with our contractors down here is floor flatness, right?
Yep.
Determining whether it's going in for a renovation or they just finished a pour, simply scanning and being able to generate contours, heat maps, and really identify where there might be problem areas in those scans.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it's about that data. It's about the information you get out of it.
Exactly. So we're looking at how people are using 3D scanning technology and developing specific applications for them to be able to quickly get results out of all this information that's collected with a 3D scanner.
Now, we know there are projects that are larger scale that, literally there's 2,000 scan stations because of, what they're trying to do or the size of a facility. And in some cases like that, a 1 to 2 minute difference on a scan over 2,000 scans could add up. So in those cases, a contractor might be looking at a TX8 because of the improved speed. But I got to figure, and you guys put the time and effort into developing this, most construction applications, you're not doing 2,000 scans. You might have 12, you might have 40, depending on what you're doing. And while that 1 to 2 minutes is a time difference, it's not huge. It doesn't amount to days additional work in a typical project.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Robert. We look at where the majority of time is being spent. So really focusing our solution around what that majority is looking for. So that's where the TX6 comes in. For those projects where you have a larger area or a bigger project that you need to get done a little bit faster, you have an option for the TX8.
And it's funny, you talked about 70 points per second, but I also think, even just a few years ago, we were doing 55,000 points per second, but it was still, we were excited to be in the 15 to 20 minute range on the scan time, right? So both the speed and the time requirement has really changed over the last several years.
Yeah, I think that the ability to be able to just set up, maybe even have some presets on a job site, where I can set up the scan, hit the button, be done in 3-4 minutes, move to the next station, just hit the button again, really improves scanning and the adoption of scanning for building projects.
Well, Bryan, I want to thank you for being here. I always love talking scanning. This is a passion of mine as well as yours. You've been in it longer than me, but it's great to have you here. And I think, really trying to help identify the differences between the TX6 and the TX8. This information will be great for the viewers that are watching this and trying to understand, what's the best tool for them. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
If you would like to learn more about the TX family of 3D laser scanners, head over to our website. On behalf of all of us here at Building Point, thanks for watching.